My first grade teacher was mean. I mean, like, she was every bit as mean, if not meaner, than some of the middle school teachers I had. And that's where she should have been teaching. And she was tough on a lot of students. Like, I had a guy in class that he clearly had ADD. Bad. He couldn't stay still. He couldn't do anything. He'd have to stand up every so often. And she, of course, couldn't stand him because back then, that was a little bit before they knew what ADD was. It was still the mindset of sit down and shut up. You don't have a learning disability. You don't have attention issues. Those don't exist. It's just you are a terrible kid. You need to behave. It was more of a, hey, you better shape up or you're going to get the belt again. And then a few years later, it was, hey, kids have all kinds of disorders. They have ADD, ADHD. There's a lot of stuff. But that guy, she had it out for him. She didn't like me either because there were two reading groups. And I remember the names. There were the Rockets and the Jets. Now, the Rocket group was full of the good kids who she thought were smart and could read. And they were grouped up for a month before she created the other reading group of the dumbasses and the slow kids. And I was in the Jets. Because how are we supposed to catch up with a group that was already ahead of us by going slower? It didn't make any sense. And that teacher was mean, and she thought I was dumb. She also thought I couldn't see. She made my mom take me to the eye doctor, and I had 20/20 vision. But she really did not think highly of me because I had bad handwriting and my desk was a mess, so that meant I was stupid. And I remember one time a girl in my group raised her hand, and I can't stress enough, this teacher took no shit from anybody. Like, she would go from 0 to 10 angry in 2 seconds. And this girl raises her hand, and she really asked this. I swear. She asked this. She raised her hand. What is net? The teacher just blank stare for about 5 seconds. She said, say that again. I'm sorry. What is net? And the teacher was confused by the question, which is still funny to me because she was young and she didn't know how to say it. But what she was asking is, what is a net? And the teacher, she got so mad because she asked it the wrong way and everything. So she gave him a conduct mark for that. Then another time she mispronounced a word and the guy laughed. He got in trouble for that. That's how harsh she was. And another time, that same girl, we had a guy in class that was always bringing his animals to school, and he brought a bird, and she walks by the bird and she gets a big smile on her face. She says, ma'am, if the bird talks, will you give it a conduct mark? No, but I'm going to give you one for that little bit of smart aleck. And I told my dad how mean she was, and my dad usually disagrees with everything. Oh, well, you just need to do what the teacher says, and that's the end of it. But he had to chaperone something at school, and he noticed how she treated us. And he told me later, he said, yeah, parents' night, she said you were all blessings from God, but she was screaming at y'all to shape up. But for all her meanness, we did some fun stuff. We made ice cream. She brought in Red Lobster and seafood for us to try, but she was tough. I wouldn't wish her on anybody. She was mean. Like, my kindergarten teacher was nice. My second grade teacher was nice. I didn't have anybody that could compare to her.